My first person I worked for as a young man, Saturdays, I was able to clean the machine shop. He was a machinist. My job was to clean the bed out of the below the turning lathe, sweep the floor, and I'd get a dime. I work all day Saturday, and I'd get a dime from him. When I was young, I got a job with the Texaco service station. It was called Old Shuck Saltwater Camp. And I was at Texaco station, and we rented out cabins to travelers. Gypsies used to come in and rent rooms once in a while. And I got $2 a day. I worked from 5 o'clock in the morning in the summer till 11 o'clock at night. Sometime 12 when I closed. If there was anybody looking for cabins, I would wait till 12, and then I would walk home. And one time I thought I would stay overnight there because it was sleeping. I was tired, and I decided to go home, so I stayed overnight in the cabin, and it was chilly, and I turned on the gas heater. And all I can remember is getting to the door and opening it up. I was being gassed. There was no vent to the heaters in there. Took a bum check from a young man that he was dressed in an Army uniform, and he came in the store and he said he get gas for his car, and well, he said, "No, me, I got a check." He said, "My dad trades here," and I looked at the check. Yeah, I knew he was from Belfield, North Dakota. Yeah, I know your dad. Well, it so happened that I took a check for $35. It was written out. He had signed his dad's name, or I shouldn't say that. His dad's name was on it. It was written out to us. Found out that it was a forged check that he'd taken from his dad, and of course it bounced. And he was in the Army, but he had already taken off and left by the time it cleared. And I worked. Well, I owed for $35. I worked a month and a half. But then he also said, because I took that bum check, I had bought a shirt with my name on it, so he decided to charge me for that too, to teach me. But I worked it off. It was a good experience, honestly, looking back at it. I never was upset with him but I did wrong. I took a check and wasn't supposed to. Gas was around 19 cents a gallon, if I remember right. Most of the people that came in, got gas, worked at the coal mines. In fact, I worked weekends sometime with my neighbor who mined out there. We went down and we made dummies for when he dynamited. If you know what dummies are and dynamiting, what we do is take coal slack and wrap it in newspapers, and first of all they put that in after they drill the hole, and then we take the coal slack and put in first that into the hole, and then the dynamite goes in, and then another coal slack goes in, and we tamp it in, and the fuse is sticking out the hole, and then we make sure our carbide lanterns are working, and we run like heck. And then my friend, Louie, and we ran the wrong tunnel. His dad was setting the fuse out, and we took the wrong tunnel. We went into a dead-end tunnel, and it blew out our carbide lanterns. And we couldn't get them, excited kids. And first of all, you have to open them up and spit in them, the carbide, to get it to start generating. And then you strike the flint, get it ignite, and nothing would work. And his dad finally found us because we hollered. I got a job working for the AAA, Agriculture Adjustment Association. The guy, his name was Albert Doby, and he worked for them, and we would go out and measure strip farming. Anything within 5 miles we walked, because he had to pay for his gas. So anything over 5 miles out of town, we took his car. And I was the chain man. What you do is you had a wheel and a chain, and you stake it, and then you walk across the strip farming and measure the length of the strip farming where they plowed and the width of it. And that was my job, to sound off to him, and while he sat there and get the numbers for feet. And it sounds sort of foolish, but we always hit the farmers at certain times that we knew there was good food. And we just loved to eat at certain farmers. So I got 50 cents a day on that job. I took care of my brother. My mother was ill, and then my mother was in the hospital a lot of times, and so I cooked for my brother, took care of him all through up until I went to California and lived with my sister. I took care of my brother, and then I cooked rabbit, not when my dad was home, because my dad detested rabbit. I fooled him one night. We shot a cottontail and fixed it, and my dad said, "That's good chicken." We never told him that was rabbit. I made stew. My brother got tired of my stew, though, and he'd go up into his friend's house and eat with them. there was 2 twins in our school, Alice and Waylon. And they lived in a trailer house, and their dad, this is when we were in 6th grade now, if you remember this now. Their dad worked in Fort Peck Dam in Montana. They lived alone in the trailer house. But they had an aunt that lived just across the way from them in a house. So one day Alice and Waylon said, "You and Don come up, we're going to have chicken tonight for supper." "Oh, that'd be great." So we got up to their trailer, and Alice took a shotgun off the top of the door. He said, "We're going down and get the chicken now." And we went down below the hill, and he says, "You go in, you will go in and chase the chickens out of the chicken coop." And I said to his brother, "Doesn't Mr. Klecker mind that we do this?" No, he don't mind. So we chased the chickens out, and we shot 2 chickens. Took them up to the trailer, and I said to his brother, I said, "Why doesn't he mind? He's deaf, he can't hear." So we had chicken that night.